Hi Aries, welcome back to the Astrology 33 channel. This is your mid-November 2025 love reading. Thank you to those of you who have liked, viewed, shared, and subscribed to the channel. I appreciate all of that. For those of you new to the channel, as far as what we have in front of us, it's what I call the bridging the gap spread. And the way it works is I look at the past, present, future energies between you and the main love interest, and we'll pull oracle cards to help with the bridging the gap dynamic. As far as the decks being used, on the left side we have the Lover's Path Tarot, on the right side we have the Romantic Tarot. And also keep in mind it's a general reading, so I'm going to be referring to the cards on the left as your energy and the cards on the right as the other person's. If you feel like it's the other way around your situation, then definitely trust that. Alright, so with all that out of the way, we'll get started. Past energy on your side, we have the King of Arrows. So this is Aquarius energy here. And if we look at the body language, right, we see the person with their back turned to the cards on that side, and then also look at the facial expression, they don't look very happy. And then also we see they're holding flowers, right? Then we see the heart symbol on the arrow. So to me, this says in the past, looks like you had feelings for this person, but for whatever reason, you might have been really reluctant to express those feelings for this person. You might actually just, I don't know, been torn, where you might have felt those feelings to them, but at the same time, there was something about them that bothered you as well. Past energy on their side, we have the devil. Capricorn energy here. So maybe for some of you, that's what it was, right? Maybe you might have felt that they were just very attention seeking. So, so even if you felt feelings to them, you might have felt like, okay, even if it seemed like they were reciprocating, was it genuine or was it just, they just like getting attention from everyone? So it could just been one of those things where maybe you weren't sure if you could trust this person in the past. Present energy on your side, we have illusion. So this is the equivalent of the moon in traditional tarot. So if nothing else, this says that you still might not feel like you could really trust this person at this time, right? So you still might be trying to feel out like, okay, what's their deal, right? And should I bother expressing feelings for this person? Should I just, cut ties? So that could be what you're grappling with at this moment. Present energy on their side, we have the Ace of Cups. So if we look at the artwork here, right, we see that gate open with the cup overflowing here. So could just be saying that, yeah, they might generally be opening up to the idea of having a connection with you, but again, there could be part of you that might be wondering if that's genuine, right? So again, like I said, it seems like you guys might have gotten off on the wrong foot in the past. So now, even if this person is opening up in a more genuine way, you could have your doubts around if you could actually trust that. All right, and future energy on your side, we have the King of Coins. Excuse me. So this is actually Taurus energy here. And yeah, so it could just be saying for some of you, you might just ultimately decide to put more of your focus toward your finances, right? Not necessarily worry as much about this connection. But for others of you, it could just be saying maybe just growing in confidence in general, too. So even if you feel like, maybe it would be a bit of a risk to deal with this person, you might feel like, well, you can handle it either way. Right. And future energy on their side, we have the Five of Wands. So yeah, so this could just be pointing back to similar energy to what we were talking about in the past, right? Where maybe this person just likes attention in general, right? But the interesting thing there is if we look at the Ace of Cups in the present and we see the way this person's holding the flowers behind their back, I feel like this is saying that ultimately they do want to settle down with one person, but their actions might make that really hard to see, so they could get in their own way in that regard, right? So if we see, they might not see that this person has those flowers behind their back and that they're intending to give it to one of those people, right? To them, they might just see it as, oh, he's getting attention from all of us. So I feel like that's the general theme that this person might find themselves in, where what they want beneath the surface, which again would be like a serious connection, might not be how they portray themselves outwardly, so that could lead to people not taking them seriously in that regard. All right, and bottom of the deck on your side, we have tradition. So This is the equivalent of the Hierophant in traditional tarot, which is also more Taurus energy here. So for some of you, this could just be pointing to maybe there is some element to this connection that could be forbidden in some way too, right? So maybe that's part of why you have some resistance to it as well. So whether it be that maybe you thought this person was involved elsewhere, maybe for some of you they actually were, right? Seems like there was something that even though you felt a strong pull to them, there might have been something about it that made you feel like, I don't know if I want to go the route of making this a formal connection. Bottom of the deck on their side, we have the Three of Cups. So Cancerian energy here, and in the majority of tarot decks, the Three of Cups is a very bright, celebratory type of energy. But here, if you look at the artwork, it has a bit of a darker feel, right? We see um, the symbols on the door of the Three Cups there, and then we also see the person. Looks like they're looking over their shoulders, right? Like they almost don't want to be seen going into the establishment. So it'll just be one of those things where, again, like I said, I feel like they're really their own worst enemy in some ways. So, they might ultimately want one thing, but they give the perception of wanting something else. And then when that plays out, where people, see what they're actually presenting outwardly versus what they inwardly feel, and then they get the repercussions of that, then they could feel rejected, right? They might feel down on themselves, and then it just becomes like this repetitive cycle. But we'll see what the Oracle cards add to the mix. First, we'll see what we get from the Messages of Love Oracle card deck. I'm going to give this a few shuffles. All right, we'll take this card. And next, we'll do the same thing with the Wisdom Oracle deck. So I'm just going to give this a few shuffles now. All right, and we'll take this card. Get this out of the way, and we'll take a look at the Messages of Love card first. All right, it says healing. Old wounds and childhood issues need revisiting. So yeah, given what we were talking about with this person, right, where like I said, they could just be their own worst enemy in some ways, that could be pointing more so to something that they might have to work through. Obviously, I'm sure you're not perfect yourself, right? So maybe this could also apply to your energy to an extent, but at least with this spread, it seems more so to be pointing at this person's energy here. But we'll see what the Wisdom Oracle adds to the mix. All right, we have community. There's the artwork and the number's 8. So we'll see what this says. All right, the relationship message says you're discovering the essential qualities that you share with another and perhaps also those you don't share. There are times when you follow and the other person leads, and times when you lead and the other follows. The appearance of this card points to the importance of learning the proper dance between you and another. Accepting the truth that everyone has their flaws is part of that dance. Yet you are also being asked to be aware of the dynamics that you don't want to repeat. You're in the perfect place to make changes in order to experience the best version of who you can be together. Interesting message there. It does make it sound like there is some promise for this connection. Doesn't necessarily jump out at me in the spread, but again, like I said, it seems like this person ultimately does seem like they do want something seriously, but they seem to also get in their own way, right? So maybe if they are able to heal those old wounds, then yes, that could actually put you in a better space to pursue the connection. But, I guess for everyone, the timeline could be different there. But hopefully that resonates for you guys. We'll wrap up there, and I'll see you all next month. All right, bye.